You are not as mature as you think. You in fact lack the grace needed to maintain adult relationships. Shapvir is it. The thing about you is you don't form views and opinions from patterns. You draw conclusions from exceptional circumstances. As a result, one mishap, one non-showing up, one exceptional circumstance is enough for you to erase an entire pattern of how someone has consistently been there for you. You don't have the kind of grace needed for adult relationships. Equally, your lack of self-love shows in relationships where someone who consistently showed you through their actions that they're not for you suddenly performs a grand gesture and you erase everything that was a pattern and draw conclusions from that gesture. Usazokhala. What maintains relationships and builds trust is the consistent showing up, building predictability. You don't wake up with security. You build it with the little things daily. Mandla was never intentional about you. You know that. 2 roses nyana in a lunch bar. That erases how he's been showing up for you for the past few months. Ntanga, even when we are correcting and teaching each other things that bring about change in how you want someone to show up for you, even that in its healthiest form does not happen overnight. So you need to have the grace to see this person regress a bit, to see this person repeat things a bit, to see this person forget the very lesson you taught them just yesterday about something. It takes time, even in its healthiest form. Your best day can equally be someone else's worst day. Your birthday may be a day where someone is just scraping. A day that is important to you may be someone else's trigger point of a day. Your birthday weekend may be a weekend they need to save the semester. You're gonna need to judge from patterns, not one-time occurrences. Being in different relationships and friendships means we will continuously learn each other. And different environments expose layers of ourselves that we may not have uncovered before. What brings about longevity in relationships is not a perfect showing up. It is a showing up accompanied by the grace and understanding that you're showing up today because you are able to. And that you've shown up enough that shall there be a lack of showing up, I'm not going to rule the entire friendship out because of that. Observe patterns, not spikes. Once you've learned to observe patterns, you will then understand that you don't need to internalize being ostracized by certain people. Your high school memories will be of laughter and nostalgia to people whom, as you reminisce, are not too far from where you are. It's very difficult to laugh with you at things that we used to do in grade 9 when my life has not moved an inch from then. When the only thing that has changed since then in my life is my age. While you reminisce over the gumboot we used to do in class, over the gwejo we used to sing, I read that as moments that you were in my life and helped me fumble for my own life. I may look at you as a bad influence I couldn't spot at the time and realize now that actually you are a hypocrite. While you did all those things with me, we are at far different stages now. I may not have the capacity to read it as what it is. So to sleep better, it's better that I cut you off, so I am not reminded of what I could have been had I stayed put. So yes, high school may have been eventful and you can laugh about it today because you are out of it. But to the group of friends you were with and those in that circle that feel their life hasn't moved much, you remain a constant trigger. Stop internalizing the distance. Because sometimes the distance is because you call people out when you can never glorify and abuse the partner. So you call people out on things they're still in love with the toxicity of. So in their heads, you needed to go. Because it is you that will forever remind them that they're shooting themselves in the foot, that they're selling themselves short, that they're not raising the standards where they should be. And because they're still in love with the toxicity they are participating in, they're not ready to be hearing those things from you. Stop internalizing being ostracized. For your God's sake, accompany yourself with people who are in motion, even when varsity did not work for all of you. Be around people who refuse to let specific failure moments of their lives define them entirely. They figured out how to live a life that's fulfilling and content to them. They don't see you as competition, neither do they look at you and be triggered. So once you have studied the patterns that confirm to you who these people are, and you've got enough evidence to let you know that they're not good for you, you will then know better who to share parts of yourself with. Even the intimate parts. My men, some of the intangibles that make relationships wholesome is being with someone who's able to see your blind spots, someone who's able to hold you accountable, someone who challenges you when you complain about your friends, who challenges you to see things from different people's perspective and not only of your own, someone who is able to spot that this is your ego talking. You need a sounding board. There are just certain needs that can never be met by a VW, even if it's paid up. So when you choose a partner, look for the intangibles. It is his ambition that will ensure that this house and car he speaks about often becomes a possibility. His ability to hold space and grace. It is that will make him understand that life happens, things have teething seasons, businesses go through cycles, and akuna muntu omloyayo. His ability to identify blind spots will refine his business proposal. The intangibles will let you know how all these other things that they claim they want will come about. So I want you to stop internalizing when people ostracize you. Your talking stage that suddenly ghosted you may have lacked the intangibles that complimented you. Or maybe the problem was you and your vetting. You assumed, or rather gave a heightened degree to this person's intangible, and they were not suited. Stop internalizing the distance. Soon you will realize that they just needed a week off. Soon you will realize that their plate carried more than usual and they did not have the capacity to check in as they used to. Soon you will realize that they may have been battling with keeping their lives in order and keeping sane, and the last thing they had in mind was to check in with you. You may realize that they were faced with far more compelling issues that required them to act a particular way to keep sane, and showing up for that celebration of yours was something they did not have capacity for at that time. Judge people from patterns, not one-time occurrences. It is disingenuous and an injustice to your nervous system to force yourself to be on celebratory mode when you've just been thrown with a retrenchment letter, a breakup, death of a loved one. So the next time you are tempted to internalize people's absence, distance, and ostracism of you, understand it could have been any of those reasons. Where you've seen patterns, act accordingly. Don't write off people over one-time occurrences. Sharpville is Zinja.